What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name is Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, let's jump into our review. Today, we're looking at an Edradour Straight from the Cask 10-year-old. Stick around. Alright, so we're getting into some pretty dense flavor territory here. We're looking at an Edradour. This is from their Straight from the Cask series. This one is a sherry bomb. It's cask strength. It's a single cask, so it should be interesting. These whiskeys come out as vintages. I've got one from 2009. Now, the Straight from the Cask series, I don't think gets as much love as the Ibisco Decanter cask strength series, and I don't think it's quite as well known as their standard range, which has a 10-year-old and the 12-year-old Caledonia, which is fantastic. So this one doesn't get quite as much love, although it is a well-respected line. But yeah, reception to these whiskeys can be quite mixed. Now, we do have a lot of Straight from the Cask whiskeys out there. We have some from Edradour, we have some from Balkan, which is their peated line. They do have their standard line, but I would think most of what they put out is actually vintage releases, many of them with a very experimental edge. And by nature, that does mean we're going to have some hits and some misses, but I always respect a distillery that doesn't play it too safe, shows a willingness to try a little bit of everything. So yeah, why don't we jump into our review, see how this one works out, and in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Definitely some good specs here. Mine comes in at 56.3%, which is wonderful. That will change between batches. Of course, we're going to have no chill filtration, and our color is natural, so no complaints. Alright, so we do have a pretty crazy color here. It's very dark, beautiful look to it. This one comes in a wooden box. As for the bottle itself, I do like it. They're definitely going for like an apothecary look here. Our bottle has like a wood grain background. We have a basket weave up here, which would be cool and not tacky if it weren't printed on paper. But yeah, overall, it's a good look. Presentation, 3.5 out of 5. Now, this one doesn't say non-chill filtered or natural color. It definitely should, but we do get a fair amount of info here. We have distillation date, bottling date, cask number, 911 bottles made of this stuff, which is great to see. Good info here. But let's talk about the elephant in the room here, which is a bad analogy because elephants are big and this bottle is not. This one comes in a 500 milliliter bottle size. I don't really like that. I prefer the industry standard. I like my bottles to be 700 mils. And of course, I realize the brand would want to charge more for a 700 milliliter bottle, but you know, we could lose the elaborate packaging. Just give us a full-size bottle at a reasonable price. That's the bottle I want to buy. So the look is fine, but the size is small. I did add some water to this. Let's try the nose. Whew. Okay, powerful. Definitely some alcohol up front. It's not a burn, but we do know we're in for something intense here. So we have sherry concentrate, we have jam, like blackberry jam, plum jam, cranberry jam. We have forest berries, we have rum raisin, we have raspberries, we have balsamic vinegar, and some leather. Let's try our palate. Okay. Thick mouthfeel. Really, there's an attack of flavor here. This whiskey is incredibly dense. Heavy plum notes, resin, dates, some heavy wine tannins. We have damp leaves and forest floor, blackberry syrup, molasses, tobacco. And now our finish. Dates, prunes, prune juice, balsamic vinegar, definitely a lot of dark chocolate notes in here, dark berries. We have some treacle and some damp leaves. This isn't as long or as intense as I thought it was going to be after that initial attack of flavor. We have a medium finish. So this one is kind of what you think it's going to be. It's one of those whiskeys that kind of tastes the way it looks, especially if you have some experience with Edradour under your belt. You'll kind of know what's coming to you. Just picture everything dark, fruity, and intense, and you're pretty much there. It's dark berries, it's dark plums, it's dark vinegar, it's dark chocolate. It's a lot. It's honestly crazy how much density of flavor Edradour gets out of their sherry casks. I don't know what they're doing, but these are not normal casks. They're so active. It's almost like someone poured a jug of dark sherry into the whiskey. Now, obviously they didn't do that. That's illegal, unless you're making whiskey in Canada. But no, it's so dense. It's absurd how dense this stuff is. Luckily, Edradour is an extremely unique whiskey in the sense that other distillates would probably be completely overwhelmed by these insanely active sherry casks, but that's not the case here. We do get a touch of the distillate shining through underneath, and that's surprising. Trust me, with the amount of flavor that's coming out of these casks, that really should be all we taste, but we do get a touch of that Edradour funk shining through, which I like. I've talked about that funk before. It lends itself really nicely to sherried whiskeys, less so to peated whiskeys. But anyway, this one's not peated. We're not going to go there. As for this one, we have that funk, and it really does give it a unique character. It sets it apart from other sherry bombs out there. So do I like this one? Yes, I think it's an excellent whiskey. It is very good. However, in some ways it's too much. It's almost like a richness overload, like when you really enjoy the taste of dark chocolate, but you can't eat too much of it at one time. It's kind of like that. It's like someone took the taste of sherried whiskey and boiled it down and turned it into some kind of like concentrate or reduction. And that's pretty much what you're drinking here. And I'm kind of saying that like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's actually really cool. It's really interesting. But again, it is a lot and it's not going to be for everyone. Those flavors can be a little bit overwhelming. And you know, no one loves a good sherry bomb more than I do, but I feel like when you have this much density of flavor, there is a little bit of like nuance that gets lost. And you know, it's a bomb. I love a good bomb, and nuance isn't really a requirement for me to enjoy a whiskey. But yeah, again, it's almost overwhelming. Luckily, water is our friend here. This one improves a lot with water. Without water, I would probably give this one an 86. With water, that jumps up to an 88. So yeah, it is a spectacular whiskey. It's a bit of a one-trick pony, but it's a good trick, and it makes for an interesting experience. So yeah, kind of a cool whiskey. I'm digging it. But tell you what, you guys might be turned off by the 500 milliliter bottle size or by the price tag, which is totally understandable. A great alternative would be to put 6 jars of blackberry jam, 74 plums, a bottle of balsamic vinegar, and a leather jacket into a blender. So value is a little bit tricky on this one. This is a really weird whiskey. Now, it's a really good and very interesting sherry bomb, and I think it makes for a unique experience. But the tasting notes and the description that I just gave have to sound interesting to you. Again, this is like sherried whiskey concentrate. If that sounds good to you, great, pick this one up. You're probably going to enjoy it. Otherwise, the price is a little bit high on this one, and unless those tasting notes sound really interesting to you, you could also skip this one. It really depends on you guys. Alright, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. Otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe. It's always appreciated. And I do want to hear from you. Have you tried our Edradour Straight from the Cask? What were your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. Also, down in the comments, you can let me know what you want to see me review next. I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.